Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Saimah and welcome to Saimah's Experience. In this video, I'm going to go over 2022 market predictions for the Turo marketplace, and we are going to go over the next 6 months of business and what we could potentially anticipate. I'm going to take a look at day rates by market. So if you're a host in one of the markets that I mentioned, and I'm going to go over all the major ones, definitely drop a comment below and let us know if you are experiencing the day rates that the market is showing in these certain areas. After that, I am going to get into a 6-month outlook of what we can anticipate based on my 6+ years of doing this and my own revenue history. We're going to look at what can happen and what we should prepare for. Now, if you're interested in learning more about Turo and how to start that business, check out my website, powerhost.club. Now, I know these days you're really uneasy about what's going on because the market has experienced a significant dip in the month of September. But worry not, you are not alone, and I am here for you, and I'm going to walk you through the whole thing play by play as it happens and as it unfolds. So let's take a look at what we can anticipate in all of our different markets. Now, the New York Times did an amazing news piece just a couple of days ago breaking down the car rental economy by market, and it was phenomenal in the data that they put out, and I'm going to share that with you guys right now. Now, what's interesting to note is that in the month of June is when majority of the markets in the US hit their peak pricing, and the peak averaged out at about $123 per day, which was insane in comparison to what it's been prior to 2020. Now, that peak has really come down by about 40% on average in most markets to an average day rate of $74. So if in the month of September you saw drops anywhere between 30 to 40%, you are right around in that average. Now, the New York Times is referencing data collected by Hopper.com, which lets you book travel and pulls that data from car rental companies. So this is definitely based off of traditional car rental companies, but personally, based on the numbers that I've seen in these markets, I think that it applies really to all the different markets that all of us are in. So now let's get into some of the markets. And if you're liking this video so far, make sure you hit that like button. Okay, where are all my Atlanta hosts at? Now, in Atlanta, we saw peak pricing of $156 in the month of June, and now that has come down to about $77. That has almost been a 50% drop, and so that's a bit severe for a market like Atlanta. But again, remember, we are working in an economy that has had overinflated prices, and this is kind of correcting itself. So for my folks in Atlanta, if you guys experience this type of a drop, definitely comment below and let us know how the day rates have gone for you guys. Boston, we're seeing about a 31% drop. Chicago, a 15% drop. Now, the amazing thing about this community that we have built here is if you read through the comment section, you will see where a lot of this data aligns with what a lot of the Turo hosts are saying. Consistently in the past month, if you read comments from hosts in Chicago, one of the things that they keep saying is about how business has been doing really well for them. So for some reason, and I'm not exactly sure what that is, Chicago has continued to outperform a lot of the fall off that we've seen in other parts of the country. So kudos to you, Chicago. For the Chicago host, definitely comment below and let us know how accurate this is. Dallas, peak pricing was $167, came down to $102. We're looking at a roughly 39% drop. Denver, $141 to $76. That's about a 46% drop. And Honolulu, I know that the pandemic has hit really hard with Hawaii, with the on and off travel, relying so much on tourism, that according to this data posted by the New York Times, they've seen almost a 68% fall off in business, which is incredible. I've never seen rates really drop that far off before. So just kind of tells you about the times that we're in. Houston, we're seeing about a 48% drop off. Vegas, we're seeing about a 41% drop off. So most states are really falling into roughly that 30 to 40% category. Los Angeles, let's see here, we're seeing about a 38% drop off. So a little bit on the high side. And I can definitely corroborate that story. It has seen a significant decline in the day rates that we're seeing. I know a lot of the hosts that I talk to here in Southern California, we are all priced out at our minimum day rates. And even then, business has been pretty slow here for us. Miami probably takes the crown for the largest fall off, which has been an insane, mind-blowing 71% in day rates. At their peak, they were averaging $132 per day, and now they're currently sitting at about $37. I don't even know how that's possible. It's so crazy. That is a 71% change in day rates, which is just insanity. Now, of course, Miami is experiencing adverse weather. They are in hurricane season, so that could have a lot to do with it. And then there was that huge influx of tourism that came into South Florida during the summer. So a lot of this plays a role in why these rates are so drastically different. But I know there are a lot of hosts in this community from South Florida, whether you're from Miami, Orlando, Tampa. Definitely comment below and let us know what you guys are experiencing so we can see how accurate this data is. Now moving on, New York, which Turo doesn't really operate in, is seeing about a 44% drop. So this might be relative to those of you who are hosting out of New Jersey. Orlando, 50% drop off, Portland, 56%, San Diego, 54%, San Francisco, 46%, and Seattle at 54%. So you really want to take note of what has happened here with the day rates and see, as a Turo host, where do you fall within this range with your cars? That is going to tell you something about whether you are outperforming what the averages are or if you're falling well below those averages, because you're going to need that information in order to adjust yourself for the upcoming holiday season and the next 6 months, which I am going to break down on the whiteboard in just a second. All right, you guys, before I hop onto the whiteboard projecting the next 6 months, if you like this video, I would so appreciate the support and the help with the YouTube algorithm if you could hit that like button for me, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Okay, so let's break down potentially what the next 6 months could look like on the Turo marketplace so that you can figure out exactly what to project and how you're going to adjust your day rates by what percentages. What I did today was I sat down, I looked at almost the last 6 years of my history on Turo, and I tried to look for patterns in the market to see what we can make an educated guess about. And what I saw is that things can happen one of two ways, and I'm going to explain the market conditions and show you guys exactly what can happen in all of our markets. So let's start off with moving into the holiday season. Now, when I looked at my Turo revenues for the years that were very normal, so not including 2020, because we all know why that was a normal, this guy right here, I'm going to show you guys what a normal Turo marketplace looks like if there isn't some crazy world event going on. So essentially what we start to see here in the month of October is revenue sees a pretty stark incline in comparison to September. So we see a pretty jump in business, pretty big jump in business, I would say at least by 20% minimum, right? And as you get closer to the holidays, it gets even higher. Then as you get into November, that picks up even more. Going into Thanksgiving gets even higher from there. And then finally, as we move into December, again, holiday travel, these numbers just go up and up because of the holidays. So since we are heading into October, you really, really want to start adjusting your prices for end of October, end of November, and end of December. This is really important because people will begin to book holiday travel if everything continues to go well in our ecosystem and our environment. What typically happens after the busy holiday season, what I've seen throughout the years, is that going into January and the new year, you tend to continue that pace of business. So January actually stays high. February and March are pretty good, but usually what I see is in one of the first 3 months, we tend to take a little bit of a dip in business. So for this example, I'll just say that we might experience that dip in the month of February. So you'll notice business drop off a bit. Not a whole lot, not as drastic as what we see in September, but probably I would say between 10 and 20%. So you'll see a little bit of a dip in one of these months. I've seen it happen either in February or in March, which is typical. And then it picks back up again. And what's nice is that once you start getting into March, you're getting into summertime and we move into the nicer seasons throughout the year. Business continues to ride upwards, which is the ideal type of market that we want to be in. But of course, this is considering that all market conditions remain normal, that there's nothing crazy going on in our world, and we have very normal human behavior where people are traveling for the holidays, they're planning stuff for the New Year's, maybe things slow down because there was a lot of expenditure during the holidays, but then things pick back up as the weather changes, weather gets nice, it gets sunny, so we see an increase in business. Now this is the Turo market that I absolutely love. And if everything was normal, I could with so much confidence tell you guys that this is exactly what we should expect in the next 6 months. However, of course, we all know that there is a wild card, and that wild card is unfortunately this guy right here, whose name I cannot say because I don't think YouTube likes it, but we all know what this is. So I want to share with you guys what happened in 2020 leading into 2021 when this was running really rampant in our world. So let's just scoot this over just a little bit. Okay, so what happened was in October, we very consistently, just like previous years, saw business really pick up, especially in comparison to September, right? So we're feeling good, things are getting back to normal. But then all of a sudden, a lot of news broke saying that we really shouldn't gather for the holidays and that there was not a solution to this yet. And so you really want to maintain distance. As soon as that happened, we immediately started to see cancellations. So much so that this was by far one of the slowest months I ever experienced on the platform. All holiday travel was literally canceled. You started seeing cancellations come in one after the other, especially here in Southern California. So this may have varied for other markets. Maybe some markets where, snowbirds flock to, like South Florida, could have been slightly different. But here, it was to an extreme, to the point where, it even freaked me out because I was like, oh my gosh, we really depend on this holiday business. And unfortunately, because of this, it just made for a really tough end to the year. Now, what's really fascinating is that the holiday season in 2020, once again, this is in 2020, because this was such a different year, such a different market. What was really interesting is going into January of 2021, we saw a huge pop in business. A drastic pop in business. Business had to have gone up, I would say, at least 70, 80%. It literally went from being non-existent in December to just this almost like revenge travel going on in January. And I don't know exactly why human behavior was like that. Maybe people were fed up from the holidays, so they were ready really to get out there. Then in February, business went up again. And then in March, we saw a bit of a decline. So again, January, February, March, even in a weird year with this stuff going on, still sort of followed the trends of the normal years, where in the first 3 months, business is typically up, but in one of the months, you are going to experience a bit of a slowdown, maybe a 10 to 20% drop off. So that is what happened in the beginning of 2021 as well. So with that said, the most important factor is going to be this right here. Hopefully, if things are going as they're going right now and they continue to get better, we will no longer have to worry about this and we can just move on and really assimilate ourselves back into a very normal market pattern like we saw in previous years right here. So with that said, what can you sort of expect? What should you be thinking about? Now, during the holiday season, when I was looking at my numbers, I noticed that I typically was raising my day rates by at least 10 to 30%. Now, if you are in one of those markets where in September business has dropped off in the 30 to 40% range, this is going to really help you bounce back here. So, given that we are already in September, you want to make sure that you are already adjusting these prices because we are going to prep for the best case scenario because there isn't any jaw-dropping news with this going on so far. So as of now, even for myself, I am increasing these prices and really prepping for a fruitful holiday season. So you can adjust your prices most likely by 10 to 30% to kind of get yourself back up and capitalize on the holiday season. So it's going to be really important. Now, let's just say things go bad with this and the market starts to decline. Well, we will immediately know it. Trust me, those reservations are going to fall off faster than you can blink, and you will know that the market is coming down, and it'll also be reflected in the news that we hear. So when that happens, all you can really do is adjust your day rates, which is going to take you to your minimums, right? Turo already has minimum pricing. And so you really have no choice but to drop it down to that minimum and just ride out the wave as best as you can. Now, let's say you are having a rough time in September. You're still uncertain if you want to carry forward or not, but you kind of want to make it through these next 6 months or at least the holiday season and see how things go for you. And I think that that's a really good idea because what you can do is kind of ride out these next 3 months, see how things go. And if they don't go well, you do have one really great market condition that is working for you. And that is that used car prices are peaking to all-time highs again. We thought they were going to come down, but because of production shortages, they're going up. So let's say you get through this and it's a complete disaster because of this. If that happens, you can exit out by selling your cars and really getting top dollar for them. So it's kind of a really interesting time that we're in because you do have a bit of a built-in exit strategy should you need it. Now, on a final note, why I think that Turo will also be somewhat fruitful over the next 6 months is because this is just my own assumption, not really based off of anything other than just being involved in Turo for a long time. I do think that they are going to go public sometime within the next 6 months. And if they do that, I think it's just going to put a lot of positive press towards Turo. I know that now they're running national TV ads. So they are going to make a strong push towards growing the marketplace and infusing it with a lot of money and marketing dollars would be my assumption. And if that happens, that should really help us out with business. All right, you guys, hopefully these sort of market insights will help you guys out in terms of understanding where you're at and the fact that you are not alone. If your business is dropping off, you're not the only one. It is happening across the board. And this is really what you have to look forward to should everything go well. And let's just say worst case scenario, this happens, then we will get through that as well. And we will talk exit strategies and how to get out of your cars. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, show some love, and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you guys in the comment section. I can't wait to hear what the different day rates look like in the different markets, and I'll talk to you guys down below. Take care, guys.